how can you turn Take Our Kids to Work Day into a career adventure? That's what we'll be talking about on this episode of the Story Connect podcast. Hi, I'm your host, Megan McCoy No, one of the storytellers here at Pioneer Utility Resources, and I am joined by Sarah Johnson, Chief Operating Officer at Clatskanie PUD in Oregon. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me, Megan. I love talking about Take Your Kids to Work Day.
I mean, it's an exciting topic, and I've got to say, I was surprised. This is your first time on the podcast, but I have been getting ideas from you for years. You are a huge influence in the Northwest, so it is a treat to introduce you to our podcast audience. I have no doubts that you will be back talking about all the other wonderful things that you do for folks in the Northwest. But I walked into a conversation with you. Folks, you were talking about putting kids to work at your utility and then paying them and then having a huge staff family celebration at the end of the day. I have to know more, which is why I asked you on the podcast today. Tell me about Clatskanie PUD's Take Our Kids to Work Day.
All right. Well, it started years ago with more just the general, bring your kids, we'll get together, we bring in pizzas for lunch, we'd have a few demonstrations. But I wasn't satisfied with that. So I took it up a notch. And now we have themes and we do some kind of educational lesson for the kids to learn, just a basic adulting lesson.
Wait, okay. Well, I need adulting lessons. We can talk about that offline. But themes, I know, and you are a woman with themes. I've seen how you get around the holidays. What are some sample themes that you've had for this event?
So our first one was superheroes, because we took like a lineman and made him a superhero. So we said the kids would also be superheroes. So we gave them masks and capes. They got to decorate their capes and kind of just made the activities around that. Sure. Last year, we did a whole like investigation spy type thing with the hats and they literally had glasses and we gave them a mystery to solve. They had pads of paper with pens with disappearing ink and they created their own mystery that they had to solve.
And by solving it, I assume you involved all the different departments at the PUD?
Yes, and the departments were involved. The part that I was talking about with the adult life lessons is we incorporated that they had to fill out a timesheet. So as they did these different activities and went around to the different departments to hear about what we do here and all the different departments' presentations, they got to mark off their timesheet. Then they took that to the finance department and they literally got paid with fake money that looked like real $100 bills.
Nice.
They had their paycheck and they took their cash. Then they went down to my department because in their backpacks that we had given them that morning was an electric bill that they had to pay.
No.
Yeah.
You gave them money and then you're taking it away?
And then taking it away because they had to pay for the power that they use.
Adulting is hard, Sarah.
Adulting was hard. It was hard. So they came down to customer service, presented their bill at the front counter, handed over some of their hundreds. We didn't take all of their money. But
okay. I was wondering if they would be in arrears or something at the end of the day.
No, we gave them chocolate gold coins for change. And there's a cookie store here in Clatskanie called Cryptid Cookies that does custom cookies for us. And we made light bulb cookies to represent the power that they had for paying their bill. So they got a cookie as well. So that was their life lesson. Yeah, they did because the cookie was their power. Yeah. So they were paying for it.
I love that so much, especially the reality check with their adulting class is fantastic. Yes. So let's get a sense of the scale for this, for folks who have not been able to visit your beautiful office in Oregon. How many staff members do you have? How many kids participate? And do you open it up to grandkids of staff members too? Because I'd imagine this could be pretty popular.
It is popular. We have 38 staff members total. and we had 48 kids last year.
You were
So they
outnumbered by the
do
kids?
outnumber us. Yes. Well, we have several large families,
Okay.
and we do open it up to grandkids because several of us, our kids are in their 20s and 30s.
Mhm.
So grandkids are welcome. Also, nieces and
Oh.
nephews. So for a few people that have never had kids, but they have a close niece or nephew, they're allowed to bring them in as well because our whole point is to inspire kids on what kind of careers they could have in our industry and just in general to have that sense of family for our staff.
Oh, I love that so much. When are you holding it this year? Because I know some folks do it in April.
We do. We do it the fourth Thursday in April, which is the National Day. There's a couple different organizations that sponsor it. I've
Mhm.
always looked at the materials from the original one that started in the 90s that was Take Our Daughters to Work Day, because originally
Oh.
that was what it did. And I used to
Yep.
bring my daughter to mailboxes, etc., when I was managing then. And then I kept
Oh.
it going at West Oregon when I was there. And so then they added boys. So my son got to come and participate. Now, it was not the kind of activities we do here. Then it was really just I brought them to work and I had them help me do things.
Yes. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of folks do that and have heard of that
Yes.
traditional approach to it. And I love that you've been involved with this since it was Take Your Daughters to
Mhm.
Work Day. And it has been evolving over the years. I think last year, Junior Achievement took over the reins for the
Yes.
national organization of it. And they've got great ideas and options on their website. They've got let me see, there's a toolkit, there's branding, sample
Mhm.
schedules, activity guides based on grades. All of that's available for free if you're interested in that and seeing what's already there. You can go to pioneer.coop/podcasts and we'll have the links in this episode. But
And
Sarah, I
activity
feel,
sheets are important, like especially like first thing in the morning when because we start at 7 a.m. right with our 4:10
yep.
schedule. So we have a movie this year since we're doing an outer space theme this year. We're doing the Magic School Bus goes to outer space, so
Yay!
that will be on when the
Oh,
kids are
Miss
first coming
Frizzle.
in.
It's
I am
exciting.
actually dressing up as Miss Frizzle. So we're taking this to a whole new level. Our apprentice will be an astronaut doing a pole climbing demonstration to save a green blow up alien.
Wait, I have so many questions. Okay. Okay, so it's outer space
Yes. See, it's
and
actually mission power up. So this is the
oh,
whole invitation.
for folks that are not watching on YouTube, Sarah just showed us the invitation for the kids. Can you send us an example of that we can share with folks if they want
Sure,
to see?
I'd be happy to.
Love it. And you are dressing up as Miss Frizz, which, if anyone does not know the Magic School Bus, look it up and
Highly recommend it for kids.
highly, highly recommend it for adults too. I mean, adulting. It's
Yes.
it's a beautiful,
Yes.
beautiful way to engage folks. So you start the morning 7 a.m. right?
Yes.
And they're going to watch an episode of the Magic School Bus.
The one where they go to outer space.
Nice. And then what happens from there?
They get their backpacks. We do all the sign ins. They have activity sheets. We give them breakfast snacks. They hang out with
Nice.
their parents for a while. Then we, usually about an hour in, because some of the kids come a little later because their staff's partners will bring the kids in, especially our littles. We have a lot of 2 and 1 year olds,
Oh my
and we didn't want
goodness.
to exclude them. Like some
Sure.
places have to have certain age things, but we didn't want them to be excluded. So they come a little later. Then that's when we'll start the tour of the building, the different demonstrations. This year, instead of a timesheet, they have a map of the planets, and they'll get a star on each of the planets that represents the different departments.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And then they
Do,
get a spaceship cookie when they complete their map of planets.
oh. Okay, but they don't have to pay their bill this time.
They don't have to pay their bill this time. We
There's not
figured we
like the
couldn't get away with that
planet
every
of
year.
power.
Yes. Because we have a
You
lot of repeat kids. There's been kids that have done this now the last 5 years. Well, we didn't do it during COVID, but they've had at least 5 or 6 years that they've come to the different years.
COVID ruined a lot of fun things, so I
It
completely
it
get
did.
that. So you've mentioned backpacks a couple times. Are these branded? PUD backpacks that they get to
Yes.
keep, or is it something they check in and out?
Nope. Branded PUD backpacks that they get to keep. And we have snacks in them. We have on themed things that are helpful this year. It'll be an activity. We've got little jars that's called My Pet Alien. And so they will actually put the little alien together as an activity when we're in the group room, when we're in the boardroom. And then they also have paperwork if there's anything like electrical safety, any other kind of lessons that we're trying to teach. Those will all be in the backpack as well. And their map of the planets.
I love that so much. So I know you're getting excited about this. I heard you mention it to some friends and I freaked out and said, I need to know more about this. But we're adults. How do kids react to this event? And
Oh,
what kind of an impact does it make on your staff, too?
they actually love it. I have several of our staff members that tell me that their kids are asking all the time when they get to come back to work. They look forward to it. We have several that have made friends. Like the kids continue to be friends outside of work and they love to see each other. We also have a Santa event in December. So the kids are at least seeing each other twice a year with our family events. And it is so rewarding to see all of them play together and share, because with the activities they get to share like crayons and markers, and sometimes at Christmas we decorate stockings so they get to use glitter and all kinds of fun stuff, and it's just so nice to see the older kids helping the younger ones. So it really is creating a whole nother family. Besides our staff being a family, we've got a whole
Yeah.
family of kids that are helping to support each other.
Well, and learning early on how incredible that community culture is within your staff family too. I mean, that's wonderful. So I'm going to ask a question about how this works, just because it's good to know. As you mentioned, a lot of folks celebrate Take a Child to Work Day, fourth Thursday of April. It's
Yes.
every year. So when you celebrate, do you have to coordinate it with your local school system for kids to get the day off?
Given that a lot of our employees actually live outside of our area, that would be a lot of schools to be coordinating with because we pull from across the river as well. We have employees that live in Longview and Kelso. I actually live in Scappoose, that's at the other end of our county. Like we come in from a lot of different areas. So
Sure.
that's part of why we always keep it on the national day. So schools are more
Okay.
aware that this is a possibility, and we help do like a form, and I believe I've gotten that off of one of the websites that's helped for the national day, that people can use for the excuse to be able to make it easier than with sending it with the kids the next day.
That's what I was wondering if there was a form that you use, and that you then just send, like, is in the backpack with all the other materials, or you give it to the staff members so they can share it as an excuse.
Yes, we
Uh,
also have a liability waiver that we have
Ooh.
everyone sign. A parent needs to sign. They can put all of their kids' name on the same one, but they have to sign one.
This is important,
Yes,
because a lot of things can happen when you go to outer space, and you want to make sure
exactly.
that all kids stay inside the school bus, and have a safe journey there and back. Um,
And we do go to the bowling alley in the
oh,
afternoon. So
of course you do.
we close the office early at 3 instead of going till 5:30, and we go
Sure.
over to Longview, which is the closest bowling alley we have in our area, and bowl from 3:30 to 5:30. And a lot of times that's when some of the older kids will join us because sometimes they have school activities that they just don't want to miss the whole day at school. But
Mm.
families will then get the older kids, spouses come, and we end up taking over the whole entire bowling alley.
I love that. So really it becomes a family event for all of
Yes.
your staff too. I know you've been doing it like this the last 5 years, and you mentioned West Oregon. You were there before you came to Clatskanie PUD. Have you seen any kids that have been exposed to careers at the PUD or at the co-op, then come back and apply for jobs or apply for internships?
There are some. Yeah, there have been several that have done internships in the area. And last year, our finance manager, two of his boys came up and told me that their plan is to work here when they graduate and so they want careers. They said they don't know exactly what they want in public power yet, but they want to work here or at least at another co-op or PUD.
Well, because it's a feeling, right? It's that community focus, it's the fun, it's the family. It definitely attracts a certain person to want to serve in public power. So I love that y'all are doing that. Uh, Last question before I let you go. I mean, I could talk to you about this for ages, but I'm hoping that this sparks ideas for other folks and that they end up reaching out to you because, Sarah, you're an amazing resource for folks in the community.
Always love to help.
You do. I mean, for folks that don't know, Sarah also organizes the Northwest Regional Group, which she helps and has for more than a decade. You have been organizing.
I've been the chair, yeah.
You've been the chair for a long time to help bring together utility pioneers from Washington and Oregon and just visiting different utilities and sharing ideas, just small groups of 20, 30 people, but they're so valuable. So that's why I was surprised. This is your first time on the podcast. But to get folks started, if someone has heard this idea and they're like, oh, well, we can really supercharge our career day at the utility. So if they want to create a career adventure day, just like yours, whether it is, an outer space theme, solving a mystery, and then having adulting lessons wrapped in with that, what should they do to start? What would your advice be?
The thing that I find most valuable is I have a committee that's the events committee that I help get ideas so people that currently have young kids have a say in what we're putting together for the agenda. So, having a group of your staff does help. I keep it about 5 or 6 people. And then just knowing, kind of get an idea of how many kids would you have? What kind of scale are you able to do? Because not everyone, like at West Oregon, we weren't able to do like a big thing like what I'm doing here. So just knowing what you will be able to pull off, what your area can do. Can you do a full lunch for everyone? Just things like that is a great place to start. And you don't have to start with big themes. Like we had fun the other way too. I just had to keep adding to it. And I'm happy to help anyone that would like to contact me at sjohnson@clatskaniepud.com. Happy to help.
We'll have your contact information in there as well. Folks want to reach out to you. Sarah, you are always a treasure to mine for ideas and just to hang out with too. But thank you so much for sharing your story with Utility Pioneers. She is Sarah Johnson at Clatskanie PUD, and I'm your host, Megan McCoy-No at Pioneer Utility Resources. And until we talk again, keep telling your story.
Story Connect is produced by Pioneer Utility Resources, a communications cooperative that is built to share your story. Story Connect is engineered by Lucas Smith of Lucky Sound Studio.